use some feel and some touch on the volley and just doesn't get it short enough. Steffi's too quick. She got to that one.
15-30. Looking for a big forehand here, I would think. And a double fault. The first serve was not a very strong one into the top of the tape. Second one a little nervous. So it's now 2 set points to Graf, the first set.
And one saved for Sabatini. Again, she set up early and hit a good forehand into Graf's forehand, opened up the court a bit. Still a set point for Steffi Graf.
A couple of tentative shots there, Betsy. I guess the pressure is there that Graf doesn't miss too many forehands as easy as that one.
She does make some errors on that forehand side. I remember watching her play Hanna Manlikova right here in the French Open last year, and that's the shot that fell apart, but that's also her strength.
Avantage, Mademoiselle Graf.
Set point number 3. Good motion on the serve, Sabatini. Nice and smooth. Arches the back, reaches right up to the ball.
Égalité.
Steffi saying, well, I get to set point. When I get there, I don't do anything with the ball.
Avantage, Mademoiselle Sabatini.
Sabatini with an advantage to take the set to 5 games all.
And that's what I thought she'd do again the point before. Run around it, clock that forehand. Now it's back to deuce. Sabatini has saved 3 set points.
Avantage, Mademoiselle Graf.
For the 4th time, set point.
You can bet she wants a second serve on this one.
Égalité.
Sabatini made sure to get that first serve, and she's really not doing much with it, but she's putting a lot of spin. It's clearing the net very high. She knows that if she gives Graf a look at a second serve, that Steffi's going to try to run around and hit her big forehand.
Back to deuce.
Mademoiselle Graf.
And the forehand was called wide. Some of the folks in the crowd don't like it. A very close one. You can hear the whistles. But definitely wide. Set point.
For the 5th time.
Well, that's the first rally that Steffi Graf has got into on set point, and she won it. So Graf takes the first set 6-4. And Betsy, a rather long and pretty nervous the way Steffi played those set points there.
Well, it really was. She didn't start the match off very confidently either. I think she got into her rhythm midway through the set. And she hasn't lost a match in 37 matches. I'm just wondering when she'll start to feel some pressure. She obviously feels some now. This is such a huge event for her. She's not won a Grand Slam tournament. She's being touted from the press and the players as being future #1. She's #2 in the world right now and on the threshold of being #1. Everyone is waiting for her, though, to win that first Grand Slam event.
I think the impact, though, that these two young ladies have made on the women's game has just been fantastic, because we've seen Chris and Martina for so many years, and now this looks like the future generation, and there's no doubt about it. Even talking to Chris and Martina, they relish the fact. I think it's going to keep them in the game, just gives them an extra challenge.
I think you're exactly right, Fred. I think the fact that both Steffi and Gabriela and Hannah, as we watch, nice forehand from Steffi, watch the girls slide, and I watch how she moves in, takes it early before it bounces up too high, really leans into it. But these girls have really challenged Martina and Chris and made them work harder and given them something to shoot for. That is to stay on top.
Yes, let's not forget Hanna Mandlikova, who's always done so very well here at the French Championships. She played a bad match against Natalie Harriman, one of the young French girls here, and lost early in the tournament. But she's loads of experience and talent, and of course she'll be back again. So women's tennis at the moment just getting stronger and stronger. There it is, game to Graf as he moves to the net. She leads 1-0, second set. '87 French Open Championships. Gabriela Sabatini, your picture there, down a set and 1-0. Started off in the match with an early service break, leading 3-1 the first set, but Graf found the range on the forehand. Sabatini to serve.
Even though Graf missed that forehand, she's really one of the only women in tennis, maybe Martina Navratilova, but that has the strength in the wrist to be able to hit it that hard from a high position like that. She hits down and through the ball so well.
Well, Sabatini's got to do more on that serve. Betsy started off the match serving quite well, but the first serve seems to have left her, and that second serve, Graf has time to get around and hammer away on that forehand. 15 all. I'm a firm believer that if you serve well, the rest of your game hangs together. Gabriela Sabatini having all sorts of trouble on the first serve at the moment.
Her serve is not, never has been one of her strengths. Although I think she's putting in a lot of work on it. She's trying to hit it harder, first serve. A good natural mover, Gabriela Sabatini. She takes off for this one early, slides well into it. Steffi with a rare backhand passing error.
Steffi got the shot she wanted. She played that point to bring Sabatini into the net to get the passing shot, but missed it, so it's game point for Sabatini. I can remember seeing Sabatini at the Orange Bowl the first time about 4 years ago. And right from that stage, she had all the strokes. But at that stage, couldn't quite put them together. All the talent in the world. Now, she's way up with the best of them.
So again, an advantage to Sabatini.
Packed house here today.
Égalité. Avantage, Mademoiselle Sabatini.
Steffi going for a big forehand. She's certainly not afraid to go for it. Sabatini desperately needs to win this game because she doesn't want to give Graf a 2-love lead in the second set, leading with the set.
And a good deep backhand wins the game for Sabatini after a struggle, and is 1 game all second set. For the first time today, the sun has just crept through. So maybe a good omen for the rest of the afternoon. I saw these two play in the finals of the Italian, Betsy. Graf looked as though she had it all taken care of in the second set. 4-all and then about 4 or 5 errors. Just like that, and Sabatini won that set 6-4, but was so tired, just couldn't carry on the third set.
Exactly, Fred. I think Graf will make some errors because she does go for the shot. She tries to hit winners. And I think Sabatini has to put a lot of effort into her shots and will get fatigued by the end of a long match.
That's the second double fault from Steffi Graf, and that puts her down love 40 with 3 break opportunities now for Sabatini. And it's wide, so Sabatini breaks serve, takes the lead, 2-1, having lost the first set. Roland Garros. Spectators coming here for ladies semi-finals day. Gabriela Sabatini just achieved a break of serve, and I'd like to welcome back Tony Trabert. Tony, you've been watching that. Your views on that first set?
Well, I think Steffi was a little nervous. I think sometimes her preparation on the forehand side is late, and that's what creates some of those errors. She's definitely not played a good match according to her standards, but Sabatini has not done a whole lot to hurt her. In fairness, Fred, I heard you mention earlier, and we've talked about it before, it is gusty, it's blustery out there, and it's tough to control the ball and have the precision that the players are accustomed to. And it's not a wind that's blowing just straight in one direction. It's really changing directions and blowing quite hard at times.
And this is the first match we've shown the folks at home, and the centre court here at the Roland Garros is the biggest centre court of the Grand Slam tournaments. You missed it. So you get a little bit of a different perspective down there, Tony, as you would on a normal Virginia Slims tour event. Good sliding backhand there, and Sabatini makes a great volley off the shoelaces, but just wide. 15-30. Chance to get back. I think both young ladies, Tony, have had lapses of concentration, and I guess at that age, 17, and to be where they are on the world rankings, that's only natural. That was a good lob there from Steffi Graf, because she threw it up into the wind. And so she breaks serve now. Gets it to 2-all.
Fred, back to what you said a moment ago, both these kids are trying so darn hard. You know, it'll be the first time for either one to get into the final, single final of a Grand Slam, and they want it so badly, and I guess it's just tough to pull the trigger, you know, really be loose and relaxed.
15-0.
You don't normally see Graf miss that underspin backhand as often as she has today. It's sort of her safety valve, but she's made an awful lot of errors on that side. You still don't get the feeling she's in much trouble, though, do you, Fred?
No, as you mentioned, Sabatini hasn't really taken it to her. She did early in the first set, but since then, she's been pretty much on the defensive. That was a better rally. That's more like the tennis we expected during this match.
It's interesting to me how often when players get in a long rally, the person that finally tries to change something is normally the one that misses. They get out of that pattern. They find, hey, I can't do this any longer, but try something else. I'll fire one down the line or try a drop shot. Steffi seems to have changed her plan a little bit here. Fiery, I think she's just sort of keeping the ball in play herself. She's not taking many chances at all.
I like the tactics that she's used to try and bring Gabriela up to the net on most occasions, and that's paid dividends for her. She's only lost 1 or 2 of those points.
There's the late preparation I was talking about on her forehand, and she has to snap at it.
She's pretty much looking for that return down the backhand side. She doesn't find too many of the girls return over to the favourite forehand.
The other thing, when Steffi invites Sabatini into the net, she doesn't overplay the passing shot because she knows that Sabatini's not a great volleyer, so she's been careful with it, and it's worked well. She missed the sitter, and Graf leads 3-2, second set. Steffi Graf trying to move into the finals of the French Open 1987. Sabatini to serve at 2-3 second set. Graf's won the first set 6-4.
This, of course, a Grand Slam tournament on clay. Few folks realise that the French was the last tournament to become a Grand Slam event. The first one was Wimbledon, followed by the US, and then the Australian Melbourne Cricket Ground, or Warehouseman's Cricket Ground in Melbourne in 1905 was the Australian joined the Grand Prix, or the Grand Slam events. Between 1891 and 1924, the French titles were only open to amateurs or club players here in France. wasn't until 1925 that entry was opened up to outsiders. A little bit of trivia for you.
So it's 30-15 in this particular game, 2-3. Of course, the winner of this will play the winner of the next match that we'll be bringing to you between Chris Everett and Martina Navratilova that follows this one, so I know you want to stay with us. Long, hard point. And Fred, I think Sabatini's starting to get a little weary.
Sigh of relief after this point, where she's brought into the net again. Feels he has to go in on that short ball. And again, Graf taking a time with the passing shot, but Sabatini on top of that one. And she says, my, that's good. I've made a forehand volley at last. Put one away for a winner. 40-15.
Mademoiselle Sabatini.
Both games are 3-all. Overcast, blustery day. The weather here during the championships has been really less than ideal, though from a player's standpoint, it's been cool, which hasn't been bad for them.
It's been good for our producer, Mike Williams. He's been back and forth to London, feels right at home in this lousy weather.
Zero. Net, premier service.
Fred, how old were you when you played in a major stadium like this the first time?
About 22.
Were you nervous?
Very nervous.
Yeah.
I played my first match here in the French Championships. Was on centre court.
These kids are 17. And
They don't know what nerves are at
well,
17.
they walk out there like it's just another stroll in the park.
That's right.
I mean, I played Wimbledon the first time here at 19, and I was scared to death. (40-15). Well-placed ball that time by Gabriela.
They had temporary stands when you played here, though, didn't they?
Wasn't that long ago.
No, that's right. The Musketeers were before you. That's right. So
Just.
good deep backhand slice again from Sabatini. And I'm sorry about that, Tony. I know you'll get even now.
Talking about the Musketeers, of course, maybe some of our viewers don't know that the four Musketeers were four French tennis players that were just absolutely outstanding in the 20s. Two are still remaining, still living, René Lacoste and Jean Barotra. Henri Cochet passed away a month, 6 weeks ago, and Toto Brugnon several years ago.
Again, that little short drop shot has paid dividends for Steffi Graf today.
Avantage, Mademoiselle Graf.
On most occasions, when you see Sabatini get to it, she's just not able to do anything with it. She gets there a little bit late. That ball's low. Now her court's wide open.
You could see a change grip on that forehand, so Steffi knew she was going to try and do something with it, not just push it back.
Égalité.
Steffi thought that earlier shot was wide on the sideline. It's interesting, Fred, to me that you take a guy like Graf, she's developed a driving topspin type backhand similar to her forehand, but now she's reverted almost exclusively to the slice because it's tight, the match is close. Revert to what they think is safe. Big opportunity here for Gabriela Sabatini.
You were talking about the slice backhand, Tony, and the slice backhand passing shot, of course, is not very effective, and that forehand volley is the first one that Sabatini's been able to take advantage of.
Égalité.
There was a wild attempt at a return by that young lady, so it's a break point lost. It's deuce. In case you join us late, Graf won the first set 6-4. It is 3-all and deuce.
Well, I haven't mentioned the fact that this is the 7th game.
Another break point for Sabatini.
Mademoiselle Sabatini.
That's Steffi talking to herself.
Égalité.
Excellent.
I love that shot. She bends the right knee on that one, gets the shoulder round, and
Avantage, Mademoiselle
that's been the
Sabatini.
most successful shot for her today. It was a good one in the early stages of the first set. Look at that, round and hits up and through the ball.
Another break point